To watch these important lessons, subscribe to DP Education's YouTube channel right now. Click on the bell icon to stay updated on the latest lessons. Sri Lanka's largest free online school, DP Education.
Right, children. Now we are going to start the second chapter of this lesson. Do you remember what we learned in the first chapter, children? We learned about the organizational levels of an organism. Right, there we learned that when we consider the levels of organization, it always starts with cell. Then by combining, but as a group of cells, we can consider a tissue. By combining cells, or the collection of group of cells is known as a tissue. And we learned about cells and tissues so far. Now we are going to learn about the other levels of organization of a living being. Okay, so next level we are going to discuss about is organ. As I already explained you all the flow chart of these organizational levels, what happens, children? What is the meaning of an organ? Now you all know that the tissue is made by grouping several cells, right? Several or large number of cells, a tissue is formed, right? A collection of a group of cells is known as a tissue, and a collection of different types of tissues is known as an organ, right? A collection of different tissues work together to perform a specific function or functions. There can be number of functions as well other than only one function, right? A collection of different tissues, work together to perform a specific function or functions is called an organ, right, children? So the human stomach is an organ and it is made up of different types of tissues. Now what is this? This is a human stomach. Now when we are going to learn about the digestive system, we are going to learn about this as well, right? Now when you consider the digestive system, it is made by combining number of organs. One such organ is the stomach. So when you consider the stomach, there are different types of tissues present in the stomach, right? So what are these tissues, children? Here given blood tissue. We learned that blood tissue is made by combining different types of blood cells, right? Red blood cells are there, platelets are there, white blood cells are there. Therefore, blood tissue is made by combining as a collection of different types of cells, right, children? So blood tissue is present. And nerve tissue, because to any organ, a nervous supply is there, right? Nerves, blood goes to all each and every organ, right? Therefore, a nervous supply is also there. So, nerve tissue. A nerve tissue is made up of nerve cells, right? The special type of cells present in the nerve tissue are known as nerve cells. So another name is also there. In the upper grades you will learn this name. Another name also given to this nerve cells. These are known as neurons. Neurons. Right? Neurons means nerve cells, the special type of cells present in the nervous system. Right, children? In the nerve tissue. And the third type is muscle tissue. Right? Now, when you consider the walls of this stomach, it's a sac-like structure. When you consider the wall, there are different types of muscles present in that wall. Right? Now, do you remember? I explained you all that there are three main types of muscles present in the human body. Right? Now, when you consider those muscles, the muscles that are connected to the bones are known as skeletal muscles. The muscles present in the heart are known as cardiac muscles. And the other muscles are present related to the other organs like the stomach and the digestive tract also, these type of muscles present. These are known as smooth muscles. Okay, so smooth muscles present. Now smooth muscles are made up of muscle cells. These cells, they look like this. The shape of the cell is like this, nucleus present in the middle, right? By combining these type of cells, muscle tissue present in this stomach and all the other parts of the digestive system is made. Right, children? So it is very clear The stomach is an organ and it is made by combining specifically these three main types of tissues. Right? Blood tissue, nerve tissue and muscle tissue. Right, children? Okay. What about the plants? Here we have an activity to do. Identify plant tissues. What are the tissues? The main types of tissues present in the plants. Okay. So we need a balsam plant. Now balsam plant has a transparent stem. Right? Or any other plant with a transparent stem we can use. Here we are going to use a balsam plant. Right? We have to uproot a balsam plant. So along with the roots we need the plant. Okay? And then we need a beaker of water. And then we need a dye. We are going to use red color dye. A dye that dissolves in water. Okay? Let's write. A balsam plant. A balsam plant. A beaker of water. A beaker of water. And a dye soluble in water. Dye soluble in water. Okay, children? A balsam plant, a beaker of water and a dye soluble in water. So how to do this activity? Even at home, you all can do this activity up to one part only. Right? To observe what happens, you can do this activity at home. But in the second part of this activity, we have to observe under microscope. You can't do that activity home, but up to a certain part, we can. Right? Put the red dye into a water vessel and prepare a red color solution. Okay? Put the balsam plant into the vessel in such a way that the root system is submerged. Right? The root system is submerged. Root system should be immersed in that red color liquid. Okay? When the stem becomes red, so when you leave it for about an hour or two, you will see that one part of the stem will become red. Okay? Take a thin section of the stem and observe the cross section through the light microscope. So what you have to do here? You have to take the balsam plant like this with roots. Right? And then you have to immerse this plant in a glass of colored water. Right, it's right here. Right. Okay, let's label this one, children. So this is the balsam plant. This is the colored water. Balsam plant and colored water. Right, children. So what you have to do is put this red dye, you have to color the water in red, and then you have to immerse this balsam plant in this water beaker, the red color water beaker, and then you have to leave it for about an hour or two, and then you will see the stem gets red color. What you have to do is, when the stem becomes red, take a thin section of the stem. You need to take a cross section. What is the meaning of a cross section? You need to cut this stem like this. Right? You need to cut this stem like this, cross section. Okay, children, you need to cut the stem across like this, and then you have to take a small, very, very thin part of that stem and you have to observe it under the light microscope. Let's do this activity now. Right, children. Now we are going to observe some plant tissues. There are different types of plant tissues present. Now in this experiment, we are going to observe what are the plant tissues present in the stem of the plant. So when we consider the stem of the plant, stem is a type of organ. Right, children? So stem is a plant organ. Now when we consider an organ means a combination of different tissues. Okay, children? So here we are going to observe what are the different types of tissues present in this organ or the plant stem, right? Now here, as I explained y'all, look at this one. This is colored water and this is a balsam plant. So we have to leave this plant immersed in this colored water for about a few hours we can take, right? And look what has happened to the plant stem. You all can see this one's colored in red. So what we have to do is we need to observe a cross section of this plant stem. What is the meaning of a cross section, children? I am going to cut across this stem and I am going to take a very thin peel of that cross section and I am going to observe it under the microscope. Okay, right. So first of all, I am going to cut the stem like this, and then I need to observe a very thin peel, right? Okay, children, I put it into a bit of water. And then we need to take it to a slide. And then, now we are very familiar with this type of making, how to make slides. I'm going to put a drop of water on this cross section to prevent drying of the cells. And then you need to cover this with a cover slip, right? You all know how to do that now. I'm going to hold it like this and drop. And we need to place this on the stage. Right, children, observe carefully. When you observe, you all can see a circular structure. This is the whole stem. And if you observe more carefully, you will see there are areas, dotted areas in red color. Very simply, you can see red dots. What are these areas, children? Now, you all can see these are the special type of areas. Now, you all know that when you immerse the plant in water, it absorbs from roots, it absorbs water and minerals. Now, here what happens? We immerse the plant in colored water. So, the colored water is absorbed by the plant roots and it is sent throughout the other parts of the plant. Right, children? So, when we consider the transportation of water through the plants, it is done by a special type of tissue, not throughout the plant. Right? Only through a certain area, through a certain tissue that transporting water and minerals is done. This tissue is known as the xylem tissue. Right, children? This tissue is known as the xylem tissue. Now observe carefully again. Right. So what you can see in the dotted red dots means that is the xylem tissue. When you take the cross section, when you cut across the stem, you can see it as red dots. But otherwise, if you take the whole stem, this xylem present as the tubular structure. That is why at the moment when you take the cross section, you can see it like dots. Right? This is the tissue where the water and minerals. Now in this case, the colored water is transported throughout the stem. Right, children? Observe carefully. you all can see the other areas as well. The middle part is known as the pith, right? Middle part, that is made up of another type of cells. Right, children? The middle part is known as the pith, that is a different tissue. Right? Can you all see another circular, almost green color circular parts outside these red color dots? Right? Okay, now the red dots present towards the middle part. Towards the outer part of the stem, you all can see greenish dots are there. What are these, children? This is the specific tissue that is used to transport food, and this tissue is known as the phloem. Right, children? So already we identified 3 different types of tissues present in this plant stem. Right? One is the xylem tissue. It was colored in red because through the xylem tissue, water and minerals are transported. So here we use the colored water. That is why we can see the xylem tissue in red color. Right? So towards the outer side of the xylem tissue, we can see another circular part. This tissue is known as the phloem tissue. Phloem tissue is very important for the transportation of food throughout the plant. Right? So when you consider the plant stem, the middle of the plant stem is made up of a tissue called pith. So after doing this activity, it's very clear that when we consider the plant stem, it is made up of different types of tissues. Now, plant stem is a type of organ present in plants. What are the other organs? Leaves, roots, fruits. They are considered as different organs in the plant. So stem is one type of organ. So it's very clear that this organ is made up of several types of tissues. Right, children? So you all observed what happened. We observed a cross section of the stem. So before we cut the stem, you could clearly see that the stem was colored in red. Okay, children? So when you observe the cross section, we could observe something like this. So when you consider the stem is a type of organ present in the plant body, children. So when you consider the entire plant body, it's made up by combining different types of organs like its roots, its stem, branches, leaves, fruits and flowers. Okay, children? So you could observe something like this. The middle part were made up of certain type of cells. The middle part was known as the pith. So pith is a type of a tissue, plant tissue. So this is the pith area. You can see here in yellow color. Right? So when we observed carefully, you could see that next to the pith, these areas were colored in red. Right, children? These areas were colored in red. These parts were colored in red. We immerse this plant in a red colored water. Right? These areas were colored in red than the other areas. What is the reason for this, children? The red colored areas those are the plant tissue, the type of the plant tissue that transports water. That tissue is known as xylem. Right? So the xylem tissue, because when you immerse this plant in water, the colored water, what happens? From roots, water is absorbed. Right, children? This water is transported through the plant body through a special type of tissue, and that is known as the xylem tissue. Right, children? So the xylem tissue is red in color because of the transportation of water. Right, children? So we could see after that, from outside we could see another type of tissue like this. Right? That tissue is known as the phloem. Now you have to get familiar with these terms, children. This is the first time you all are learning about the xylem and phloem. You have to get familiar because in the upper grades also we are going to use these terms. Okay? So this tissue is known as the phloem. The phloem tissue transports food throughout the plant. Right, children? So phloem is one type of tissue. Xylem is one type of tissue. So the xylem tissue has a specific function. Right? That function is transporting water. Right? Phloem tissue has it is another type of tissue. It has another specific function. What is that function? Transporting food throughout the plant body. So in that case, it's very clear when we take the plant body also, it has different organs. When you consider different organs, it is made by combining different types of tissues. So when it comes to the stem is made by as a combination of xylem tissue, phloem tissue, here pith, right? Here the epidermal tissues also present, those type of tissues present in the stem. Right, children? Okay. The tissue which transports water and mineral is colored red. It is called the xylem tissue. Phloem tissue, which is located outside the xylem tissue, transports food in the plant body. Right, children? In addition to the xylem and phloem, there are many other tissues in the stem, like pith. Understand, children? So it's very clear that when it comes to an organ is made by as a combination of several tissues. And when it comes to the organ, an organ has a specific function or functions. Now here, when we take the plant stem as an organ, what are the main functions? Right? According to these tissues, it transports water throughout the plant. It transports food throughout the plants. So when it comes to the organ, they have specific function or functions. Right, children? Okay. Right. We have this other activity to do. Observe a cross-section of the plant leaf using a permanent slide and study different types of tissues. I already explained you all when you study the permanent slides. Permanent slides are the slides that previously prepared slides. Right? So we have previously prepared slides in the lab and these are known as permanent slides. In that case, you don't have to make another slide by yourself. Right? So these permanent slides are stained. Some colors are added, therefore we can observe them very easily. Right? So how to make this type of one? You have to take a plant leaf like this. What we are going to observe here is cross section of the plant leaf. So we have to take cross section, right? We have to take a cross section. You have to take a plant leaf, cut across like this, and you have to take a tiny, like very thin layer of that and observe it under the microscope, right? Observe a cross section of the plant leaf using a permanent slide and study different types of tissues. We will do this activity in the lab now. Right, children? Now we are going to observe a permanent slide of the cross section of a plant leaf. Okay, so what is the meaning of a cross section of a plant leaf, children? Look what I have here. This is a plant leaf. Plant leaf is a type of an organ, right? Okay, so how to obtain a cross section of a plant leaf, children? You have to cut across like this, right? And then you have to take a very thin layer of this section, right? It has to be very thin so that we can observe the cells very well, okay? So we have to observe a very thin layer of this section and then we have to place it on a slide and we have to put a drop of water on that one and we have to cover it with a cover slip and we can observe it under the microscope. Now here we are going to observe a permanent slide of a cross section now. Okay, children? Let's see. Right, children, observe carefully. You all can see the cross section of the plant leaf very well. Right, what can you see, children? You all can see there are different areas. Okay, upper and lower parts you can see clearly. Right, like a margin. Okay, can you all see some cells are long, rod-like, elongated cells. Some are bit circular cells. Right, children? Some of them are elongated, some of them are circular. Right? If you observe carefully, you can see that in certain areas, these cells are arranged like rows. Okay? Right. So what we observed was the cross section. It was a permanent slide, a cross section of a plant leaf. So after observing this one, now you know that when you consider plant leaf, and that is an organ of the plant, that is also made up of different types of tissues with different types of cells. Right, children? So you could observe that when we consider this cross section of a plant leaf, it also contains different types of tissues. When you consider the plant leaf, leaf is a type of an organ of a plant body, right? So when you observe the plant leaf, you could clearly see that different types of tissues were there, right? So if you consider this part, you can consider this is one type of tissue, this outermost cell layer, another type of tissue, right? Here you could see some other types of tissues likewise. Right, children? So it was very clear that plant leaf is also made up of different types of tissues. Understood, children? Right. So here, when it comes to the organ, what are the main features of an organ, children? Consist of many tissues. Right? A plant organ or any other organ, animal or plant or any organism's organ is made up of as a combination of different types of tissues, many tissues. Okay? And perform a common function or many functions. It can be either only one function or many functions as well. Some organs perform only one function, but some other organs perform number of functions. Right, children? So I hope you understood about organs now. What is the next level of organization, children? That is system. So we learned that by combining a group of cells, a tissue is formed. By combining several tissues, an organ is formed. So what is the next level? System. A system is made by combining a number of organs. Okay? A group of organs that perform a special function or functions, there also can be one function or many functions, right? Is called the system, right? A group of organs that perform a special function or functions is called the system. Now here, the following diagram shows the arrangement of digestive system of man by a combination of different organs. Right, children? Now we are going to learn about the digestive system in the next chapter. Right, children? So here you all can see this is the whole system. It is made by as a combination of number of organs. Now here this is the stomach. We already learned that stomach has an organ, right? What are the other organs? Mouth or mouth cavity is one type of organ in the digestive system. Right? Esophagus is this tubular part, the tube-like structure that connects the mouth cavity and the stomach, right? So the esophagus opens to the sac-like structure called the stomach, and then food goes to the small intestine, right? Now here you all can see small intestines present here, then the large intestine, and then you all can see the liver present here, right, children? So these are the organs that are related to the digestive system. Now we are going to observe another system using a 3D structure. Right, children? So you all can see a 3D picture of this urinary system. Urinary system, or we can even call it an excretory system as well. Right? Urinary system or human excretory system. What is the function of this system, children? Now, during different functions of the body, what happens, children? A lot of waste materials are produced in the body. Right, children? So, these waste materials should be removed from the body. This is done in different ways. Basically, in 3 ways this is done. Even in the previous lessons, we learned about some of these methods, right? Now, earlier we learned that in the previous lessons, we have learned that during respiration, carbon dioxide gas is produced. Now, this should be removed from your body. So this is basically done using your lungs. Therefore, lungs can be used as excretory organs, that organs that get rid of waste materials, right? And when you consider your skin, when you sweat, what happens? Excess water and salts will go out of the body. Therefore, skin also is doing an excretory function. So excretion means getting rid of or removal of the waste matter present in your body. Right, children? But the main excretory system of your body is considered as this system. So when you consider the excretory materials, the nitrogen containing excretory materials are basically removed by this system. Right, children? So this is known as the urinary system. So you all can see when you consider this system, I will remove all the other parts except for the excretory system, children. Then it's very easy to study. This is the place of the system where it's present. I will remove now all the other parts apart from this system. So we can study it very easily. Right? I'll remove even this one. Right. You can get an idea where it is present, located. Right. Right, children? How can you all see? Right. When you consider, you all can see very clearly these two bean-shaped organs. These are known as kidneys. You all know about kidneys now, right? These two organs are known as kidneys. Right, children? And starting from kidneys, you all can see these tube-like structures present. These tube-like structures are known as ureters. Right, ureters. So the ureters connected to this sac-like structure. The sac-like structure is known as the bladder. Right? You can see clearly now. So these are the two kidneys, right kidney and left kidney. And there are two tubular structures called ureters. This is the right ureters and this is the left ureters. Right? And this sac-like structure is known as the bladder. And this one tube-like structure is known as the urethra. Right, children? Now here, there's another very important thing that you have to keep in your mind. Now you all know that if I consider this is my board, when you face towards the board, we consider this is the left side and this is the right side. But why did I mention this is the right kidney and this is the left kidney? If the board's left side is this, why did I mention this is the right kidney and this is the left kidney? That is because this is very important factor, children. Remember, now from this lesson onwards, you are going to start to learn about the human organ systems. Whenever we learn about the human organ systems, you have to imagine that a human is facing towards you and we are studying that human's systems. So if another human is facing towards you, your left side is that person's right side. Your right side is the person's left side. So whenever you mark or you label a diagram, remember when you face towards that diagram, your left-hand side is that diagram's right-hand side. Okay, children, that is the reason I named this one as the right kidney, this one as the left kidney. If this human is facing towards us, this is the right side of that human, this is the left side of that human. Right, children? This is very important when you label the diagrams. Okay? Right. So in that case, this is the right kidney, left kidney. This is the right ureter, this is the left ureter. This is the bladder, only one bladder is there. Right? Therefore, this is the urethra. So what happens, children? All the harmful low waste materials are brought to the kidneys by blood. So kidneys can filter the harmful substances or the waste materials, and that mixture of these waste materials is known as urine. So urine is made by the kidneys, and through these tubular structures it is sent to this bladder. Bladder can store this urine for a certain period of time. When the bladder gets filled, you get the urge to urinate. Okay, then you pass urine through the urethra. So this whole system is known as the human excretory system or urinary system. So you all can see very clearly this is made by combining different organs. Kidneys, one type of organs. Right? Ureters, two ureters also another type of organs. Right? Bladder is another type of organ. Urethra is another type of organ. Therefore, when you consider this particular system, this is made by as a combination of four main organs. Kidneys, ureters, bladder and urethra. So I hope you got a better understanding on the systems, and now you know that systems are made by combining or as a collection of organs. Right, children? So you got a better understanding about systems and organs using that 3D picture. Right, children? So therefore, system, what are the main features, main characteristics of a system? Consist of many organs and perform a common function or many functions as well. Right, children? Okay, we'll move on to the next. Here, in order to study the systems or the systems in the plant, we are going to do this activity, right? Uproot a plant like Cupamania. Now, this activity we did even during the first lesson. To study what are the parts of a plant, we did this activity, okay? I hope you all remember, but we are going to do this activity again in the lab, okay? Observe different organs and systems of it. Draw a line diagram and try to identify the organs and two systems in the plant body. We'll do this activity now. Right, children? Now we are going to see what are the systems present in a Cupamania plant. Now, Cupamania plant is a dicot plant. Dicot plants, now in the first lesson we have learned about monocot and dicot plants, and they are different from each other. There are differences as well as similarities, okay? Right. Now, can you all see the plant, children? Look at this plant, right? What are the different parts that we can identify? Now, in this lesson, we are learning about what are the different organizational levels of living organisms, right? Now, here, when it comes to systems, you all know now, systems are made by combining different types of organs, right? So, when it comes to the plants, what are the organs present in the plants, children? Check whether you all can see. Now, look, what are these, children? These are the roots. You all can see now this is a dicot plant. This has a taproot system. If you observe carefully, you all can see this middle root is present. This is the taproot. What are these tiny other roots that are connected to the taproot as branches, children? These are known as lateral roots. Now, what is this, children? This is the stem, and you all can see there are leaves, right? If you observe very carefully, you will be able to see here these tiny leaves. These are known as apical buds. Observe very carefully. We have discussed all these parts in the first lesson, right? So the lateral buds also can be seen. These small buds are known as lateral buds. And if you observe very carefully, you all can see very tiny white color flowers present. Right? What are these, children? These are the tiny fruits of these plants. Okay, now these are the parts or these are the organs of this Cupamania plant. Now, what are the systems, children? Remember, children, when we consider plants, there are two main types of systems. What are they? The root system and the shoot system, right? So the root system is the system that remains underground. So here you all can see, right? From here, starting from here is the root system, right? This part, which means here the taproot and the lateral roots, right? Both of these parts belong to the root system. What is the shoot system, children? Shoot system means the system that present above the ground. Okay, so when it comes to the shoot system, what are the parts present in the shoot system? Observe again this stem, these leaves, fruits, and the buds, and also these small flowers. They all belong to the shoot system. So after observing this plant, it's very clear that the plants consist of two main types of systems. The root system that remains underground and the shoot system that is present above the ground. Right, children. So you all observe the plant body. It was a very easy activity because we have already done this in the previous lessons. Okay. So draw a line diagram and try to identify the organs and two systems in the plant body. Now we studied that. We'll do this one now. It's very easy. You all can do this before me, okay? Right. So when we consider the plant body, we clearly observe that Cupamania plant's root system, taproot and the lateral roots were there. Right? The taproot was there and the lateral roots were there. Right, and there were branches like this, and the apical bud, leaves, right, flowers. We'll simply draw flowers like. Right. Let's label this diagram, children. We'll consider this is the underground part, this part above the ground. Okay. We'll label this diagram. It's very easy to do this now. Stem, taproot, lateral roots, branch, flower, leaves, apical bud, lateral buds were also there. Right, taproot, lateral roots, stem. You can label some of these parts. Branch, apical bud, flowers, leaves. Right, children? So now these are the organs of the plant. The taproot, lateral roots, stem, branch, apical buds, leaves, flower, they all considered as the organs of the plant. So what are the systems, children? Remember, as I explained you all before during the lab, now there are two main systems in the plant. What are they? The system that is present above the ground is known as, now you all know the name. What is that system, children? That is known as the shoot system. And the system, all the other parts present underground is known as the root system. So the part of the plant that presents above the ground is known as the shoot system. And the part that present underground, the part that remains underground is known as the root system. Shoot system and the root system. Right, children? Okay, the part that present above the ground is the shoot system. The part that presents below the ground is known as the root system. Right? Okay, right. Look at this one, children. Organs and systems in the plant body. Right? So look at this one. All the organs are given here. Right? Even here we did the same thing. Shoot system and root system. Right? So when you consider the plant body, there are two main systems. The part that we can see from above the ground is known as the shoot system. So according to the shoot system, what are the organs coming under the shoot system? Look at this. The flowers, fruits, leaves, stem, they all are coming under the shoot system. Right? What about the root system? The part that remains underground is known as the root system. So when it comes to this plant, root system has two types of organs. Right now, you all know that plants, there are two main types of plants. What are they? Flowering and non-flowering plants. So the flowering plants, again, there are two types. What are they, children? Monocots and dicots. Monocotyledonous plants and dicotyledonous plants, which means monocots and dicots. Now, this is a dicot plant. You all know now the dicot plants, they have a taproot system. Right? Now, taproot system has two main types of roots. The taproot, the main middle root is known as the taproot, and the other roots that are connected as like branches to the main root are known as lateral roots. So, when it comes to this root system, there are two main parts. What are they? Two main organs, taproot and the lateral roots. Okay, children? So basically, when it comes to the plant body, there are two systems, shoot system and the root system. Right, children? You may notice that there are two main systems in the plant body. What are they? Shall we write here? Shoot system. Shoot system and the root system. Right? The two main systems, shoot system and the root system. Right, children? Okay, we have another assignment to do. Try to identify main organs and systems in grass. Grass is another type of plant. Now, do you remember in the first lesson we learned that grass is a monocot plant or monocotyledonous plant. Okay? Draw a line diagram and name them. We will observe a grass plant now in the lab. Right, children. Now we are going to see what are the systems present in grass. Okay, now grass is a type of plant which belongs to the monocot group. Okay, children. Now in the first lesson we learned the differences between the monocot and dicot plants. And earlier we observed a dicot plant. The Cupamania plant is a dicot plant, right? So now, as you already know the differences, it's very easy for us to learn this one, right? So when you were learning about the Cupamania plant, now we know that there are two main parts of systems in the Cupamania plant. What are they? The root system and the shoot system. Let's see this plant. Now this is grass. You all can see here the roots. And here this is the part that is present above the ground. Similarly, even in this plant, we can understand two systems clearly. What are the two systems? Even here we can understand the root system present. This is the root system. This is the shoot system. So root system is the system that present or remain underground. Shoot system is the system that present above the ground. Okay? But there's a difference, children. You all can see when you consider this root system, we can't see a taproot system. You all can see all these roots, they arise from one main place, right? At the base of this part, you all can see all the roots arise from the same place. We cannot recognize one specific root like a taproot. Okay? These roots are known as fibrous roots. Because there is no specific taproot present in these type of root systems, these monocot plants have fibrous root systems. Right, children? Now earlier we learned about we studied the Cupomania plant, we could clearly see the taproot, and all the other roots are connected to the taproot like branches. So these tiny roots are known as lateral roots. But here, that difference is not there. All the roots, these small roots, everything starts from one main place. Therefore, because there is no any main root, this type of root system is known as a fibrous root system. What about the shoot system, children? Now, earlier we observed that when you consider the stem, now when you consider the dicot plant, stem has branches. But here in this shoot system, can we observe a visible stem? No. Right? If you observe very carefully, these all are the parts of the leaves. Okay, if you remove these leaves, you all can see the stem-like part is made up of these leaves. Leaf bases are combined with each other and the stem-like part is made. Therefore, this is actually not a stem. Right? All the leaves are combined here. So, when you consider this plant, the shoot system does not have a stem like before. Right, children? However, when we consider this grass plant also, we can identify two systems. The system that remains underground is known as the root system, and the system that present above the ground is known as the shoot system. Right, children? So, you all observe that plant. That plant also has shoot system and root system, but when it comes to the root system, you cannot identify it as two parts. It's only fibrous roots. Shall we draw here what we saw in the lab? So when you consider the grass plant, basically above the ground, all the leaves present like this. Right? So when you consider the underground part, the roots arise from the same place. Okay? Now when you consider the taproot system, one main root right at the base of the plant and other branch-like parts are connected to the taproot. Those roots are known as lateral roots. Here, all the roots, tiny roots arise, they start from the same place. They are known as fibrous roots. Okay? Let's label this one. These are the leaves. The leaves and the fibrous roots. Leaves and the fibrous roots. Okay, so in this one, here also we can observe the same two systems, shoot system and the root system. Shoot system and the root system. Okay, children? So now we know that a tissue is made by a group of cells, and an organ is made by combination of several tissues. And when it comes to a system is made by combining a group of organs. What's next, children? Next one is an organism. So you know that systems are made by combining different types of organs. So when it comes to an organism, several systems, number of systems combine together and an organism is formed. Okay? All systems of the body join together and form the body of an organism. Right? The following figure clearly displays the way forming organisms by a combination of all systems in the body. Let's see. Look at this diagram. Right? This is a human body. You all can see how it is formed by combining different systems. Look at this one, the respiratory system. Right? Now each system has a specific function or functions. We all know that now, right? So the respiratory system, look at this one, respiratory system is present in the thoracic cavity or the chest cavity. Right, children? So respiratory system, now respiratory system is very important for the absorption of oxygen and getting rid of carbon dioxide gas. Right, children? Look at this one. Blood circulatory system. So blood circulatory system consists of the heart and the blood vessels. Right, children? Here the muscular system, we all observed the muscular system before, remember? And the excretory system, we discussed about the excretory system as well, right? This is a digestive system. Digestive system, we are going to learn about the digestive system next. Reproductive system. Now, reproductive system in males and females, the reproductive systems are different. Males have the male reproductive system and females have the female reproductive system. So, those organs are different. Okay, children? So, when it comes to digestive system, excretory system, muscular, all the other systems, male and female organs are the same, but when it comes to the reproductive system, they have separate organs. Okay? And the nervous system, it's a combination of your brain, spinal cord, and all the nerves, right? So apart from this, we can even consider the skeletal system as well, right, children? Skeletal system is also correct. So right, okay. So the systems we'll write below, all the systems here again. You can put it here and write. Right, children? Here, respiratory system. Respiratory system. Examples for the systems. Blood circulatory system. Here, muscular system. We can write skeletal system as well, as the muscles are attached to the skeleton. Skeletal system. Excretory system. Excretory system. Digestive system. Digestive system. Reproductive system. Reproductive system. And here, nervous system. Nervous system. Right, children? Respiratory system, blood circulatory system, muscular system, skeletal system, excretory system, digestive system, reproductive system, and nervous system. These are the main systems present in the human body. Right, children? So when it comes to the other parts, you have studied that the plant body is made of two systems. What are they? Root system and the shoot system. Right, children? So the organism is plant body. By combining the root system and the shoot system, the plant body is made. Right, children? We'll move on to the next. Right. So we have this activity. Make a model to show the organizational levels of life. Present it in the classroom. Now this activity is ideal to do as a group activity. So you all can get together and think of a way to present these organizational levels of life in the classroom. Right, there are different ways that you can do this. You can make models to do this. Right, you can make different models to do this. And at the same time, you can even do this as a chart. Right, there are some different ways that you can do this. Okay, let's say that if you do this as a chart, you can take a box board or a bristle board, and you can simply write all the organizational levels, right? Starting from the cell, tissues, organs, systems, and organism. And you can write like this, right? Cell, tissue, organ, system, and organism. Right, children? And also you can show it this way. And maybe in front of each you can write their definitions as well. What is a cell? What is a tissue? What is an organ, system, organism? Right from one side, or maybe from one side you can add the description or the definition. From the other side you can add what are their features, special features of the cell, tissue, organ, etc. So there's another way you can do this. If you do this as a group activity, here there are 5 levels. 5 children can hold boards related to each, and they can explain while holding the board. They can explain the details of each level to the class. Okay, children? So including examples as well. Okay, so make a model to show the organizational levels of life and present it in the classroom. There are some different ways that you can present it, and you can make it interesting the way you present and all. You can even find additional information under each level too. Right, children? So we have completed this chapter as well. So even in this level, we learn about the levels of organization of the organism, and I hope you understood this part as well. So in the next level, next chapter, we are going to learn about the organ systems of humans.
To watch these important lessons, subscribe to DP Education's YouTube channel right now. Click on the bell icon to stay updated on the latest lessons. Sri Lanka's largest free online school, DP Education.